It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Los Angeles Chargers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it kicks off next on Madden NFL 25.
It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Up in the booth with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and kickoff straight ahead, CD. What's one thing that you're going to have your eye on?
I think about what the great coaches of the past always said. The key to any ball game. Can you rush theirs and protect yours? Well, in this case, both of these teams get after the quarterbacks. I'm watching the pass rush.
The kicker, Chris Boswell, has it ready to go, and we are underway from Pittsburgh. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Here are the Chargers ready to go on offense, led by their first-round pick in 2020, the man out of Oregon, Justin Herbert.
It hasn't taken Herbert long to earn this status as one of the league's best and most entertaining passers. He's locked and loaded on every snap, and the second he sees an opening, the ball's soaring downfield. You've got to be on your A game at all times against him. The second you slip up, he's liable to burn you.
11 yards there on the first play from scrimmage.
That's a good start to the ball game. Maybe a little bit of a tone setter offensively. They come out throwing right away, and it's an early completion and a quick first down.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Herbert. That one's complete to Tomlinson. And he's brought down. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Herbert. He finds his man, complete. That's Hampton.
I like it, I like it, I like it. Get everyone involved in the passing game, and you know you can create those great mismatches throwing it to your guys out of the backfield.
And on the first drive, that can also help establish some rhythm, right?
I think so, and gets everyone involved. They feel like they're part of it, and really gets them amped up as they go forward.
Play action this time for Justin Herbert. A short throw to Conklin, the tight end. And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. A gain of 8 there on the play. And it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there? Freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. And a throw there going to be incomplete.
I'm quite sure that they envisioned a much better start to this game when they practiced all week, but they failed on that 3rd down play. That brings up 4th down, and they'll probably have to punt it away.
Now 4th down, so the Chargers trot out J.K. Scott. The back deep for the Steelers is Calvin Austin. And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. So out come the Steelers now for their first drive. They'll be led out by the former Buckeye, the young rookie QB from Ohio State.
Tell you what, partner, he might just be a rookie, but he certainly looks the part of a veteran NFL starter, and he carries himself like one leading the offense out there. In a lot of ways, he is advanced as a first-year quarterback, and he came in and was right at home with this offense.
Yeah, you only get a 1-yard buffer there from the line of scrimmage, and he got downfield a little too far, and the flag came out. Looking to throw. Howard. A short one there to Freiermuth.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25. The first carry now. This is Johnson. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down? Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Off the play fake. Howard. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
Now on 4th down, it's Cameron Johnston on to punt it away. Back deep for L.A. is Darius Davis. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. The Chargers get set to go here for their 2nd drive. Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. And not much doing there. Maybe a yard up to the 23.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
Herbert now. That's complete. It's Ladd McConkey. So the completion good for 7 there. And it makes it 3rd down and 2 yards to go. Up the middle they go. It's Hampton. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
Running game working, they'll stick with it on 1st down. And a strong run that time as he's across midfield and down to the 43. That good for 19 and a 1st down.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid game.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 43. They'll keep it on the ground. Hampton. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. Now it appears we have a Steeler here slow to get up. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. They work now on 2nd and 9. A first carry for Najee Harris. Give him 3 yards, and now they're left needing a conversion here on 3rd and 6.
What a luxury to have a guy like this who can not only spell your starter, but can come in and keep drives going.
The line to gain is the 33 on 3rd down. Now it's Herbert. That is caught. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 23. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Charger first.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. And it's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
Here's Herbert. And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. Justin Herbert looking to pass. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Well, it looked like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Again, Herbert. Short throw to Disley. And they'll get to him short of the first down at about the 16. That'll go for a gain of 7. And that's going to make it 4th down.
I thought they might take a shot down the field, but instead they ran a little drag route there. I think they were hoping he could catch it and run away from the defender. But a really good job keeping the play in front of them, and they force a 4th down.
They snap it to Herbert. The 4th down play doesn't work for the Chargers. And this 11-play drive is going to lead to nothing on the scoreboard. Well, you feel the excitement build on those 4th down plays. Defense has to stay out there, but for the offense, when that thing doesn't work out, such disappointment.
It can absolutely be a deflator, but how about the defensive guys? If they stop you on 4th down, they are absolutely elevated going to their bench.
They're elevated now. Big stop on 4th down. So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their second offensive possession. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone. Well, from an offensive perspective, that was a tough run because he only picked up 3 yards. Well, let's flip it over to the defensive side. They now have the advantage. 3 3-yard gains. That means they're punting the ball likely on 4th down. That's what you're looking for when you're playing defense.
Here's Johnson again on 2nd down. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. A yard in the wrong direction makes 3rd down tougher. 3rd down and 9.
Well, that was not what you would call straight line pursuit for a middle linebacker to make this play. He's got to work his way through the clutter to get to the ball carrier on the outside, and he does exactly that. That's called avoiding the trash.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
2nd down and 8. Warren will try the right side. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
Not too shabby for his first carry of the game. That's exactly what most teams are looking for, a really good change of pace back.
So from Charger territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. A give up the middle to Johnson. And to the 36-yard line, taken down there after getting 8 yards. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
And incomplete on the deep ball.
He already came through for them on this drive. No surprise that they were hoping he could do it again.
They're trying to keep the drive going. This will be play number 8. It's 3rd and 2. Operating from the gun. Howard. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
One thing that offensive guys stress when they throw the deep ball, you're just counting on your receiver to find it, adjust before the defensive back can get his head around. In this case, though, the DB matched it move for move and knocked it away.
Boswell's kick is good, and the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. L.A. set to take over again on offense. They've got some stuff to build on from that last drive because they moved the football, CD, and then they tried to go for it on 4th down, didn't convert, probably left a bitter taste in their mouths.
I would say so, and I think that they go out in this series determined for that not to happen again. In fact, they don't even want to get to a 4th down opportunity. They just want to make sure they get it done within the parameters that they've set for themselves. Run their offense, get it into the end zone. Yeah, I think a little bit of determination and a dash of anger. Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 42 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point. There are times on carries like that where he looks a little bit older than his rookie status.
How many times have we talked when we've gone out to dinner about how precocious these youngsters are that come into the NFL now? They play at a higher level at a younger age. The stars aren't quite in their eyes as much as it used to be, huh?
And he's across the 45. It'll be 2nd down.
Not a huge carry there on 1st down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on 2nd down.
And they'll come up 2nd and 7. They'll try the air now with Herbert. Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete. He had no options downfield there and just chucked it out of bounds.
There was no one open. He was in the pocket. Where was the intentional grounding call?
Oh, you wanted the flag?
Of course I did. I'm a defensive guy. You know that. Where was the flag? The officials point out that someone was in the area. He got away with one.
Here's Herbert. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. That's going to bring up 4th down, only a gain of 2 there.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
On 4th down, J.K. Scott ready to punt it away. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up. 3-0 after one on EA Sports. Second quarter action from Pittsburgh. It is the Steelers in control of the football. Ball on the 27. Here's 2nd and 6. Off play action. Howard. That's complete to DK Metcalf. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Back to throw. Howard. That to the right sideline, and it falls incomplete. So he's 3 for 7 throwing the football right now. Not an awful start, but also not the sharpest of starts.
No, I would agree with that. But if you're a confident quarterback and to play that position, you have to be. You just act like there's something wrong with the wind currents or something wrong with the ball. It is not you. Keep throwing. That timing usually develops.
Able to find a lot of empty space there, picking up the first down and a 21-yard gain.
I haven't met a quarterback yet that didn't enter the league with a massive chip on his shoulder if he wasn't a first-round pick. They want to show the league that they made a big mistake. Determined to get the first down there, no hesitation at all to tuck it and go. I bet he would have tried running through their entire defense if it meant reaching that marker.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Out route, and he connects with Freiermuth. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Pat Freiermuth, 23 yards for the touchdown. And they are able to add on to their advantage. So they get their tight end away from the line to the outside, and he works his way in for 6.
Tight ends are not just blockers anymore. I don't know how many more times we need examples, but here's a great one. Gets to the outside, they give him the ball pretty quickly, and they trust him to get those extra yards, and boy, did he come through, bullying his way into the end zone after the nice catch.
Chris Boswell now for the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 10-zip. So that drive spanned 5 plays, and it ends with the Steelers finding the end zone. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. Here's a Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. Nothing for them yet from an offensive standpoint, down 10-zip as they come up 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Defenses always talk about earning the right to rush the passer on 3rd down. And you know what offenses want? Win first down so they can set things up for themselves better.
And that wasn't helpful there. Not a big impact on 1st down. Ball on the 28-yard line. Here's a 2nd down and 9. They'll keep it on the ground. Hampton. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Back-to-back runs, I'd say that encompassed maximum effort for minimal gain.
Minimal yardage, and now they're going to need something more than minimal on this play coming up. The Chargers on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 8. Back to throw here, Herbert. Flushed out right. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. Herbert able to show his wheels as he gets the first.
Well, he and his offense were staring down what was likely a 3-and-out. Zero fear from his side, though. Never doubted for a second they'd pick up the first. He's ready to pull the trigger on the keeper the moment it revealed itself.
On the jet sweep, it's McConkey. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Let's just make this one succinct. Nice job there. All 11 guys on defense, diagnosing the jet sweep and putting it down.
From the 43, here's 2nd and 5. They'll try the left side. It's Hampton. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. Here now, 3rd and a yard. Now a give, right side. Hampton. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. But now he appears to be in some pain. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. Here's J.K. Scott set to do the punting honors. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And that last drive, so effective in the passing game, resulting in the touchdown. Maybe not many people were focused on the trenches. There was good protection there.
Excellent protection. So now defensively, you've almost got to get down in those starters blocks like you're a sprinter. Get lower than those guys on offense and find a way to roar through them or around them to get into the face of the passer.
Easier said than done, though.
Way easier said than done. But they've got to try something because right now they're just cutting them to shreds.
Here's Johnson again on 2nd down. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Pittsburgh getting 16 yards there and also a 1st down.
We really didn't have any doubt that he was going to be one of the top-rated rookies coming into the league, especially as a runner. And he's given us no reason to change our minds. That's a big-time run, and the production that he showed us in college is translating very well into the National Football League.
Running left, it's Warren. And some room to work. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. 44 yards rushing for him now in his first 2 carries in the ballgame. Well, it's kind of fitting. A couple days ago when we met with him, I said, what is it about your running game that's so effective? He said, I like to tag myself as elusive. He was pretty elusive right there.
And his teammates appreciate that because they know they don't have to hold their blocks for very long. As one of them told us, if I just breathe some bad breath on the guy in front of me, that's all I need to do, and he's gone.
His throw incomplete.
After watching him drop that slant, I can hear my old coach's voice ringing in my ears right now. You can't run with the ball until you catch it. Trying to get those rack yards before he secured it.
Now a 2nd and 10. Up the middle, Johnson. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Now Howard from the gun on 3rd down. A short one there to Freiermuth. And he's brought to the ground with another 1st down at the Chargers' 24-yard line. 15 yards there on the catch and run.
For a tight end, he's got good straight line speed, and on that route, he's often the guy that gets overlooked. Nice job there of finding him in stride for really good yardage.
They go play action here on 1st down. And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up second down.
Well, on that one, they go with a play fake, CD, but I don't think anybody really was fooled. All eyes were fixated on the quarterback, and they got him to the ground.
And to run this play successfully, you've got to make sure that everyone is doing their part. You actually have to sell this play. You've got to sell the run action. Otherwise, why do you stop at the running back? You just run straight for the quarterback and put him on the ground.
And he'll get it down this time to the 17. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for third down.
A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I'm not sure how much more evidence they need, partner, than to understand that if they don't start to slow him down, it's going to be a long afternoon here at the stadium because he is just shredding them at this point. And let's face it, coming into the game, they knew he would be the focal point of their attack. This is going to take an 11-man unit on the defensive side to start making plays.
It'll be a 3-yard pickup, and it brings up 2nd and goal.
Definitely an important sequence here for this defense. They've had their share of struggles in this first half. They just cannot afford to give up another touchdown here.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Escaping the pressure, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. A big win there defensively on 2nd and goal, a loss of 7, and it brings up 3rd.
2nd goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack, but he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football, had to eat it, and ended up on the ground.
They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. Looking to throw. Howard. That throw finds Pickens in the end zone. Touchdown Steelers. A 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Steelers are able to add on to that lead.
Well, that's what I call an answer right there. They gave up a sack on the previous play. How about what they did to finish things off, turning it right back around?
That's the response, and that O-line feels a lot better now, don't they?
Yeah, without a doubt, because give up the sack on the previous play, that just hurts those guys because they never want to see their guy get hit.
Extra point now by Boswell. He's got it, and it's 17-0. So that drive, 12 plays in length.
And it was finished off by a George Pickens touchdown grab.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. The offense for Los Angeles returns to the field. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
I know, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
2nd and 6.
They'll run again with Harris. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
Alex Highsmith making the nice play and getting the sack.
3 scores down, not even a halftime yet. They are not getting much generated offensively. They've got to figure it out.
It's tough because this defense just seems to be playing with so much confidence right now.
They really are. They are on their toes, and they're getting at them.
Here's J.K. Scott now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. It's a 45-yard punt, just a 1-yard return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They begin the drive with Johnson. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. From the 31, here's a 2nd and 9. Operating from the gun, Howard. This one into the hands of Metcalf. And he gets this up to the 34, out of bounds there. An extra defensive back on the field for the Chargers now on 3rd down. Back to throw. Howard. Johnson on its poke 3. Football's out. And picked up by the Chargers. And the return stops at the 39-yard line. All fumbles are costly, but that one really hurts because he had the first down.
Yeah, and that's all he needed, right? But the problem is we coach these guys to try and get more, but that doesn't count if you don't bring the ball with you, does it?
The Charger offense making their way back out there. And now they start in plus territory following that turnover as they'll try to get some points here before halftime. Now Herbert following the turnover. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
That was nice work there defensively to force incompletion. Now, even though this drive started in plus territory, they're still not in field goal range yet. So they can work towards another couple of stops and not allowing that turnover to hurt.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Herbert setting up the screen. Harris. And he gets it down a yard or 2 shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
That's a nice design there, but sometimes, though, you get so many blockers out ahead of you, they kind of slow you down and force you to adjust. You always appreciate guys trying to help you, but maybe one less there could have turned this into a bigger game.
From the gun, Herbert on 3rd down. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have the Chargers' 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Another nice play there. They've gotten down into the red zone in no time at all. That's what this offense can do when they get on a roll. And now they're set up with a 1st and 10.
Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half. Laundry on the field. This is going to be a false start on the offense.
Sometimes you have to slow things down a little bit when things get heated. The cadence has to be slow and deliberate at times to make sure your team's ready to go.
From the shotgun, here's Herbert. Finding Williams once more, complete. And he takes it inside the 10 to the 8 before he's out of bounds. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it'll be 2nd down.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route. And what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing. And they got it done.
And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. This is first and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. Harris diving for the end zone, and he is in. Touchdown.
And they can thank their defense for this one. They were set up with a short field following the turnover, but they took care of business as well, working their way down and finishing with a strong run into the end zone for their first touchdown of the game.
And for the extra point, Cameron Dicker. And it's 17-7. So the drive there took 6 plays. And it was Najee Harris who finished it off with a touchdown run. Now after the Dicker field goal, he's back out ready to send it away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's over 40 yards here in the second quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's second down. Looking to throw. Howard. He's got his tight end Freiermuth right side. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number 1. They'll look to throw now on first down. Screen play, Johnson. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Second and a couple. Again, he'll drop to throw. That's complete to his tight end, Freiermuth. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. 4 seconds left, and there's the timeout. In field goal range and a chance to tack on 3 before intermission. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. This just 32 yards officially from the right hash. Boswell's kick is good, and that will open the lead up now to 20-7. How about that to finish the half? That was all well executed.
They got the big play. They got him into field goal range, and then their guy knocked it right through for them. What a way to travel into the locker room at halftime on that wave of momentum.
So still time for the kickoff here. 1 second to go in the half as this one is away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Charger drive about to get going. The final shot before the break for Herbert. And that one to the right side and incomplete. So we've reached the intermission in what right now is a 13-point game. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. So time for the second half as the Steelers have the lead, and they will also be receiving the football here to start the third quarter. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. The Steelers offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And we'll take you through some of the highlights here. You'll notice he had a hand in a lot of them so far. He's got this offense rolling right now. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And they've got the lead, CD. What do you expect from them in this second half?
Well, I liked what they were able to do on the ground in the first half because they had a lot of success running the ball, and I certainly think we'll see more of that. But I'd keep an eye on that defense, and I think their coaches up in the box will do the exact same thing. If they start to see one or two guys start to creep towards the line of scrimmage, that'll be licensed to take some shots downfield.
From the 32-yard line now, here's a 2nd and 7. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. A gain of 8 on the keeper and a first down.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
A first down carry here for Johnson. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
Well, it's hard to have vision as a runner and find a hole when there's nothing but defenders in your way. They stacked that one up really well. But give him credit. Instead of trying to bounce it out and turn it into a big play, which might have turned into a big loss, kind of just took his medicine there and took the 1 yard.
On the give, it's Warren. And only a couple for him there as the tackle is made at the 42.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game. And while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
Here comes 3rd down and 7. Back to throw. Howard. Dumping it off for Johnson. And he's going to be stopped here at the 43, and that is not near enough to pick up the first. They'll get only a yard out of that, and it'll bring up 4th down.
How about that strategy there, Brandon? 3rd down. They just said, we've got faith in our tacklers. We'll give you the short stuff, and just decided to protect the sticks. So every time I hear fans telling me tackling's not a part of the game anymore, plays like that, I can clip and save and show them you have to tackle well if you want to be a good defense.
Possession switching back now to the Chargers. And they have had problems getting the running game in gear as we look through some of their attempts from earlier. They have just not been able to match the physicality that this defense has shown, and their lack of success on the ground is a direct reflection of that. The Charger drive about to get going. And their defense did its job by forcing the punt to start things out, and now, Charles, can the offense get in gear? There he goes, left side. Now inside the 25. Touchdown, L.A. Lad McConkey, 88 yards. And the Chargers have cut it back within a score. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the third quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there was an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
Extra point try now from Dicker. And it's good. The deficit 6, 20-14. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. Here's Dicker now as he'll send this one away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. Still enjoying the lead here in the third quarter despite their defense giving up that last touchdown. Now they'll see if they can get the equalizer here on this drive. And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, sometimes as a running back, you've got to be able to improvise when the hole's not where you expect it to be. But in this case, there wasn't any improvisation that he could do that was going to work. Kind of like if you're trying to be a comedian on open mic night at the Improv and you run into a tough crowd.
Here's 2nd and 8. He'll find Metcalf. Now he'll be stopped at the 35, but not before he picks up 7 yards. They need 2. Here's 3rd down. Off the play fake. Howard. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds him for the first down.
Here's Johnson. He's been busy this afternoon. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape. And he still doesn't have a catch. We're into the second half. I think it's a little bit of a surprise to me, but that was one he should have caught.
Absolutely. That was his best opportunity right there. He dropped it. An incomplete pass on 2nd down. That muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. Off the draw. Here's Johnson. Oh, he shifts past him. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 86 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
So that's what that elbow in my ribs was all about. You thought they were going to throw the ball as well.
Absolutely. I think everybody thought they were throwing the football, caught him off guard.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when you have the courage to make that type of a play call, a lot of times you actually get rewarded.
Got a man, and he hits him in stride. He's got room to roam. And so close, he gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. A big play there on the catch and run. 32 yards.
This is what made the West Coast offense a staple around the NFL in the 80s and 90s. You don't have to push the ball deep downfield to come up with big plays, and there's an example of that right there.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Johnson. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Well, this offensive line has really stepped up to the challenge here because those Mastodons, they've been sensational clearing holes all game long. And this is great work down here near the goal line to give their back the space he needs to work his way into the end zone.
Now Mike Tomlin says, let's go ahead and go for 2. They'll try and throw for it. And no, it falls incomplete. So the two-point conversion, no good. So unable to throw it in for 2 from the 2. Let me ask you, as a former DB, what changes there around the goal line on a two-point conversion as far as how you're defending it?
You just make sure you never back up and you never retreat. You establish yourself really on the line of scrimmage, put your heels on the goal line at worst, and if they're going to throw the ball, make them throw it over your head because they're going to run out of space because of the back of the end zone. Never let a guy catch one in front of you.
And he won't quite make it to the 25. So out come the Chargers.
Well, partner, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
Only able to gain a couple there, and it's second down.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Now a give. Running left is Harris. Dancing away at the 35. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 15 yards on that one and a Charger first down. We often give credit to the O-line there. 2 tight end formation. Those tight ends block pretty well also.
Yeah, and that's one of the most dynamic positions in football now. The tight ends who can block at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack, and they can also get downfield and catch the football.
And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage would be found.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. They run again with Harris. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Play action. It's Herbert. Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down. T.J. Watt, the All-Pro, in there to take him down.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
Here's J.K. Scott now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. Here's Austin. 43 yards on the punt, 7-yard return, and out will come the offense as they take over. This offense headed back out, captained, of course, by their quarterback. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football.
Here's a 20th carry for Johnson. And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5.
I think we all suspected that they were going back to him after he found the end zone on his last carry. And they kept the positive momentum going there. Another nice run by him.
Now 2nd and 5.
Looking to throw. Howard. And he's got him. Got his man on the end route. Complete. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a first down. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line. The sack recorded. It's a loss of 5, and now it's second down.
That's his second sack of the game, and the best defensive ends, they do their homework as much as offensive guys do. They know how to beat the offensive lineman across from them, what moves they need to do to set them up. This guy's been pretty good at it all game long.
Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. A handoff for Warren. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness. He's the whole package, and that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Looking for Austin, intercepted. Picked off by Tony Jefferson, and he's just across midfield and down at the 49-yard line.
I think he thought he had his first read open on that one, but they were obviously ready for that throw, and that's just a lack of experience showing. Young quarterback stared his man down the whole way, and they were more than happy to sit on that route and bring home the INT.
The Chargers offense now, they get set to head back on the field.
See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Harris running straight ahead. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. Snap will come from the 31 on 2nd and 7. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Harris. And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line. 46 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
First downs have not come easy, and neither have runs like this throughout this game.
Absolutely not. He finally felt like, whoa, a sigh of relief. We got something going in the running game. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Pittsburgh. It's Charger football, but they trail here as we get going in quarter number 4. Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. That one tipped, and it's incomplete. Well, good hands there defensively at 2nd down.
Really nice play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball, but for the guys on the offensive line, they're doing a nice job of trying to protect their passer. But when a guy hops in the air and goes airborne to try and knock one away, it's difficult because you can't reach out and grab him. That'll be a holding penalty. So all you're trying to do is make some type of a play on him, make some type of contact to try and get his arms out of the sky.
And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. Herbert. He's got his target. That's complete. And the Chargers are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified. Big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to third down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll try to run with Harris, and he takes it in for a Charger touchdown. Najee Harris, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Chargers have made it a one-score game again here in the fourth.
And how nice is it to have a guy like Najee Harris in the backfield when you get down near the goal line? He can use his 230-plus pound frame to just get you those tough yards, and he finishes things off here with a touchdown run.
Extra point up and good by Dicker.
And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter.
So after the touchdown, here's Dicker out to kick this one off. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. The Steelers offense and their running back getting set for this next possession. And it's hard to believe you could run the ball a whole lot better than he has. The vision, the cutback ability, the acceleration, it's all been on display throughout. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. I'm curious to see, Charles, about the play calling on this drive. Last time out, the interception that led to a touchdown. Here we are. I mean, very close, one-score game.
Yeah, and if I'm a defender, I'm actually chirping to you on the other side of the ball, saying, hey, we picked off the last one. What you going to do about it now? So when you do throw the football, high percentage, but throw it with confidence. Because if there's any hesitancy at all, it could end up in enemy's hands again.
Running from the gun, Johnson. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
That gives him 98 yards in this game, and he's got to feel pretty good about that, but the entire offense does. The big thing, though, Brandon, they've got to get to 100, though.
You think he knows he's at 98?
I think someone has told him by now, and here's the thing. Getting to 100 or more is tangible evidence that you've had a nice day running the football, and that's what his offensive line wants for him and for themselves.
Maybe not exactly what they had in mind, but that scramble good for 6 and a first down.
Now that's a killer because you think you get it absolutely covered, and then he hot-foots it out of there and picks up a first down. Drives you crazy as a defense.
Looked like, you're exactly right. Looked like a for-sure stop on third, and then the tables turned. They'll look to throw here on first down.
He's got his tight end Freiermuth over the middle.
And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain.
They couldn't ask for much more to this point in the second half. A gorgeous day, one-score game. First and 10 here.
A give up the middle to Johnson. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. Second down.
Early down stuff's to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
Here's second and 10.
They go to Johnson again. They'll wind up getting 4 down to the 36. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
Eluding and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. It'll be a sack and a loss of 3, but more importantly, it brings up 4th down.
A CD, a little bit of feast or famine for him. He's had some success throwing the football, but also now he's been sacked 4 times.
Yeah, you just mentioned the 4 sacks, but you're right. He has managed to hang in there and make plays at times. His offensive line, they've got to figure it out and pick things up and give him more opportunities, and he has to help them by getting rid of the ball a little bit quicker as well.
And that is no good. He gave it a good run. That wasn't more than a foot or so wide to the left. And they'll be unable to build here onto their 5-point lead. Now, this was still going to be a one-score game either way, but still, that's a potentially harmful miss here in the fourth.
It certainly is, because if you consider that now if they give up a touchdown, they give up the lead. So he might be getting the side eye by the defenders coming out on the field now as he goes back to the bench after that miss.
The Charger drive about to get going. Their defense was able to hold serve, albeit with a little help from that missed field goal as they settle in now 1st and 10. It'll go as a gain of 11 and a Charger first. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Hampton, and he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
From the 39-yard line, here comes 2nd down at 6. They'll fake it on the jet sweep, and instead a handoff up the middle. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those 3 guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends, they're usually big, big people because they're going to have to eat up a lot of blockers because it's usually 5-on-3. And when they do their job well, guys who play on the inside, those inside linebackers, they will just roam and hit.
And he is going to have the Chargers 1st down as he'll be marked down a yard or 2 past the marker following a gain of 6.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the 1st. The throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here on this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on 1st down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
2nd and 10. The tight end in motion right. Justin Herbert looking to pass. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down.
Well, that one was all about the defender making life difficult for the receiver. Very tough for a guy to hold on to the football through all that contact. He ends up forcing the incompletion.
Here comes the 7th play now of this drive as this is 3rd and 10. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. A penalty accepted, and they move the ball forward.
Still 3rd down.
And that last penalty makes this 3rd down play a little more interesting. 3rd and 5. Oh, a design run for their wideout. And after all that, he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave them with a 4th down. And no move to get Herbert off the field. They're going for this. 4th down for Herbert. Desperation time. That is caught. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. Give them credit. They knew what they wanted to dial up on 4th. They executed it for 9 yards, and the offense stays out there. A new lease on life after the 4th down conversion. Here's 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Herbert. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And the Chargers are going to have a 1st and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown. And that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal.
Herbert jet sweep as he taps it forward.
And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Chargers.
Mike Williams.
A 5-yard touchdown.
And the Chargers have moved out in front here in the 4th quarter. They're quite the comeback here. They have erased that deficit, pushed themselves out in front now here in this 4th quarter.
But this game's kind of felt like a horse race, hasn't it, partner? Because you had the other guys run out to their big lead, but then slowly and surely, they've been creeping up and closing that gap. Now they've stuck ahead in front here late in the game. The finish line's not far away. They need their defense to finish this thing off.
And they'll have Herbert try and throw for it.
And no, incomplete. They can't convert. So they tried to bump the lead up to a field goal. Instead, it stays at 1 here in the 4th.
I think we can figure out why they went for 2 there, right? Up 1. You want to make it a field goal difference if at all possible. They didn't get it. Now they've got to play some defense down the stretch.
Yeah, not much margin for error now for your D. They just have to get it into range.
Now after the Dicker field goal, he's back out ready to send it away. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. The home team's offense and their running back getting ready to go back to work. And he has put in a full game's work and then some. Just an incredible performance on the ground to this point in the 4th quarter.
They go play action here on 1st down. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be 2nd down.
I like how he hung in there and went through his progressions, but eventually his internal clock went off and told him it was time to make a run for it, and he ends up sliding down with a solid gain.
Still a few inches short of a 1st down as they come up now on 2nd down. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw.
A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
Partner, for once in my life, I'll be succinct. In a one-possession game, every single stop like that could be a difference maker.
An incomplete pass on 2nd down leads us to 3rd and inches. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And he's got the 1st down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
Well, sometimes, Brandon, there's just not a secret to how things get done. He's been running well all game long, and they continue to rely on him in this key situation.
They told us they were going to rely on him. They have. He comes through there, a big 3rd down conversion. They stay on the ground on 1st with Johnson. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
He's having a big game running the football, but that one will hurt the yards per carry a little bit.
Yeah, but the average he's got so far, that's the type of average he wants to take with him to contract negotiations, doesn't he?
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10.
A short one there to Freiermuth.
Now that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point that continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
Howard from the gun on 3rd down.
He's got his running back out of the backfield.
And he's got this down a yard or two shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. And they pick up the 1st down there with a gain of 4.
I'm not sure that was necessarily a safety valve or a check down throw on 3rd down. Sometimes just try and find the open guy and get him the ball. He did exactly that and found a way to pick up a 1st down.
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. And his throw is incomplete.
Well, they'll certainly be on the tablets going over that one for sure. Clearly, they were expecting something else out of the defense and couldn't adjust to make that completion happen.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Back to throw again.
A short one there to Freiermuth.
And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
The completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
Here's 3rd down and 5.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
Coverage was awfully tight there on 3rd down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
So here we go. On now is the kicker, Chris Boswell. This for the lead in the final stages. Boswell's kick is good, and they have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. The Charger drive about to get going. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Now we're in the situation where the quarterback's got to take full charge of his huddle. Got to totally command it, make sure all eyes are on him. All focus is locked in. Going to call multiple plays and go over different situations and scenarios to make sure everyone is on the same page.
Herbert.
He's going to let it fly. Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. And he's in for a Charger touchdown. A big play there. 58 yards.
And the Chargers use the defensive breakdown to take the lead away here in the 4th.
Might be seeing that one on the highlight shows tonight. The home run ball here in the 4th quarter to take the lead.
There's nothing like being aggressive, preaching that to your team, and then following through. All the way through. Go ahead and throw one more up there. Why not?
Been a great game, and we are not done yet.
Dicker down to tack on the extra point.
And the lead is up to 5. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it winds up with a touchdown for Los Angeles.
Here's Dicker now as he'll send this one away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
So now the Steelers down by 5, 80 seconds remaining. They've surrendered a double-digit lead but can rescue themselves late as they come up on 1st down.
That's to Freiermuth.
Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. He's back to throw.
That's going to be caught. It's Austin.
Partner, they're clearly saving those timeouts, but they still have to work with some urgency to put themselves in the right position.
Two timeouts still available in this final minute. It's 1st and 10 now.
He'll look to throw. Flush to his right. Now the Steelers use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game.
Now second down and a few inches.
Back to throw.
And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to third down.
As soon as he leaked out and began his route, someone on the defensive side broke with him and arrived just in time to separate him from another reception.
A big play looming on third down.
They'll look to throw.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he's going to get out of bounds with the first down. So an ideal set of circumstances there. They move the chains, and they save that final timeout.
That's what they need right now. Get the first down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
Final minute, 1 timeout remaining. 1st and 10.
Back to throw. Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this 4th quarter.
Second and 6 coming up.
Back to throw. Howard. And this is caught. Touchdown. And they've taken the lead here in the final minute.
CD, that was an all-or-nothing drive to win this football game, and they rose to the occasion to take the lead here in the waning moments.
And how about how they got it done? No timeouts left. They take it downfield, execute perfectly, and get it done. Now they don't leave their opponent with a heck of a lot of time on the clock.
So now an extra point doesn't help much. They'll try to go for 2 to make the difference a field goal, and they can lead it by 3. They'll look to throw. And this is caught. And it's a 3-point game. So they make the decision. They want a 3-point lead versus a 2-point lead, and they got it.
Yeah, at this stage of the game, it seems like the exact right thing to do. Put a little pressure on your defense, but the biggest thing now is you're making the other team chase you.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Chargers offense and Justin Herbert getting set for this next drive. And this defense might be about ready to wave the white flag. Nothing they have tried to throw at him has been that successful. He just processes things so quickly and makes a right read seemingly every time.
And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 14 seconds to go in the game.
They come up now on 2nd and 2. Now Herbert.
And that'll be incomplete with 11 seconds remaining now.
This definitely 4-down territory at this point, but a critical 3rd down here. Herbert. And Herbert going to slide to a stop, and he has a 1st down. Now the Chargers will use the 2nd of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. They'll come up 1st and 10 here. One last throw here for Herbert. This for all the marbles. This ball intercepted. Picked up by Minkah Fitzpatrick. And the Steelers are going to hang on the final play. They get the turnover to seal this football game. What a ball game this was. What an atmosphere this was. And the home team getting the late touchdown, getting the victory, and now everybody in this building can file away with smiles on their faces.
And what do real estate people tell us all the time? It's location, location, location. So being at home, that can be a big deal because, remember, they were down to their final chance to retake the lead. That home field advantage, I think it helped fuel all of what happened for them down the stretch. A huge win.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. The Steelers earn the win at home as we say so long from Pittsburgh.